Hey, thanks for stopping by. You know, I followed your character since the first episode. I'm a big fan, big fan.
Thank you.
And listen, your storyline, it makes for incredible TV drama. Thing is, your drug use is very adult content. Too adult for the kids. So I'm gonna have to block you.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, have a good one.
You're a nice lady.
In Fairfield County, something new comes across my desk every day. Crimes are committed, cases are solved, and a community is made safe by the hardworking employees of the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office. Welcome to This Week with Sheriff Dave Phelan, a weekly program here on LSN Television, also carried by a number of the radio affiliates here in Lancaster. Do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week. This program is actually taped at Fairfield Christian Academy. The students here, J.T. Burcham, the instructor, and if it wasn't for their willingness to do this program, there's no way we could do a program like this or afford to be able to do that. They do a terrific job. Our behind-the-scene producer, executive producer, is Kelly Roberts, and does a great job there. Back this week, second week in a row. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Dave.
My friend Monty Lobb, professor at Ohio Christian University. June 1st, you're going to become the dean.
Correct.
At Ohio Christian, and been there a number of years, and I've been able to go there now and then. Some of your classes.
Yes. Drug awareness and
yes.
Talk about law enforcement, and so you've been very helpful. Thank you.
Yes. So lots of good things going on.
There are.
You know, we talked last week and about ethics and those kind of things. And I don't know if I'm going to get this right, but just the other day I read something where Abraham Lincoln said something like this. He said, most men can stand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him power. Give him power. Mm-hmm. And you know, I think about so many things that have gone on a national level where you've had national figures that have problems. You know, certainly we've seen here in Fairfield County in recent years, there's been elected officials had problems. They're in the newspaper, they're on television, just a host of different things. There's even been some people that have been criminally charged in the past. And it's very difficult because last week we talked about how important trust is in any office, any political office.
Right.
And you had some of those same challenges when you and Ken Blackwell, Secretary of State, you were Assistant Secretary of State, took over that office a number of years ago.
Yes. You know, trust is like the twin pillar index of relationships, order and trust. And if you don't have order in relationships, if you don't have trust, then you can't build anything. And so, you know, for example, you mentioned Fairfield County with elected officials. It's very important that those parties, be they the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, when they're vetting who they want to nominate and who they want to endorse, is that they go through a rigorous background check. They do everything possibly they can that before they pass these candidates out to the voters of Fairfield County, that these are men and women of high character. Not only high competency, we want them to do good at their job, but high character. I mean, it's a stain and a blemish on the entire county when men and women decide not to follow the Ohio Revised Code and just do their own thing. I mean, it hurts the level of trust and respect for elected offices up and down the board.
You know, I even look at law enforcement, and you know, we've seen a lot of negative things about law enforcement, but the reality is, you know, there's I think 30 million interactions every year between law enforcement and the community, and 99.7 or 8% of them do a great job. But the ones that kind of do not do what they're supposed to do, or they get in some kind of mischief or something like that, and typically, as you mentioned so wisely, it's not they don't have the ability. It's not a competency. They understand the laws of arrest. They understand what they need to do, how they use their firearms. But so many times, in fact, almost all the time, it's some kind of problem with their character.
It is. It is.
Where they fall short.
Yeah, and that comes back to the Lincoln quote. All of us are going to have laboratory type experiences to build our character. And it's either we're building it up or it's going, building it down. But relationships are built on authentic, real trust. And people will give us a break, Dave. If they know we're trying and we're real and we slip up, people are good about that. But if there are more than episodes, but it's a pattern of
Right.
like, oh man, let me connect the dots of all these times now, then it's very hard to regain that trust. And for those who are elected to public service and take that oath of office, boy, it is so incumbent on those elected officials that they have a worldview, that they have a mindset, that character's got to be at the forefront of all their decision making.
Yeah, and in fact, in law enforcement, what I see is there's different standards or different things in different agencies. And, I've always told our employees, I guess I would call them cultural norms, because I'll just give you an example. The highway patrol, those guys always look sharp.
Yes.
They always look sharp. And so one of my jobs and leadership's jobs within the sheriff's office is to make sure our organizational norms are all positive. I mean, we are going to treat people in a respectful manner. Even the worst, even our prisoners and things like that,
Right.
we are going to continue to be professional with them, whether they're using profanities toward us or whatever. We are going to stay professional, and we want to improve our organizational norms, because the reality, as you mentioned last week, is to be effective in law enforcement, we have got to make sure that we have the public behind us.
Right, right. Study after study shows, when I teach this leadership course at the university level, one of the number one reasons why people stay in an organization is because of trust. Pay is way down, believe it or not, down the scale.
Yeah, I believe that.
It really is. But if you work somewhere, you like the people, you're not always you're not walking on eggshells all the time. It's very predictable. The leadership, they really appreciate people. They uphold their dignity. They're very transparent. People love that.
Right.
And that they want to work, whatever they're doing, they want to work in those kind of settings. So it really is extremely important that leadership sets that tone. Like you said, it comes from the top. It really does. And people who come in, they're looking to say, okay, what's the tone? What's the culture here?
Well, that's an interesting comment, that pay in and of itself, that a lot of people, they love their job, they like the way they're treated, they like what they see, they like the example, and that's low on the pecking order, where a lot of people say that's number one.
Yeah.
And we've seen that with the sheriff's office, because we do not make the money that they might make in Columbus or somewhere, but we have a very low turnover rate, and that is because people love what they do, and they like the work environment.
Right. It's not by accident. I mean, study after study shows that people will stay longer, they're happier, turnover, like you said, is less, they're more productive, okay? They're willing to take on new projects and not just punch the card out at 5 o'clock and stay and work weekends, do other kind of things, because a sense of satisfaction, because there's trust. They really believe in the organization.
So if an organization is having problems, what's the scope? 1, 2, 3. What do they need to do?
I got you. First, leadership's got to look in the mirror. They've got to take an honest, long look and say, okay, what are we doing to create this? Either intentionally or maybe unintentionally. Why are we sending this message out? Why do people feel this way? And so you do need a meeting of managers, of people on the front level, saying, hey, talk to us. You're not going to be punished or anything like that, but we want to be better. What are we not doing well? And a lot of times it happens when people are walking out the door, they have nothing to lose, so they do an exit interview, and then they'll blast you. But you don't want it just at that time.
Right.
You want a culture that people are open, honest, and transparent the whole time, and say, man, we could be better at this, or we're not doing too good at this. And if leadership can begin to create that trust with people, that's the first step that they can do. Second is not overpromise and underdeliver.
Okay.
A lot of people do that. That they want to please their people so much that they make all these grandiose kind of statements and then they never deliver on them. But people begin to gradually see that, they're working on it. They can see that. So communicating with people. Here's what we're trying to do. We heard this from you, that this particular department is not doing well. Well, we're taking these steps. What do you think? And that, again, the buy-in, the trust, that extra sense of, okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, it begins to occur. So if you begin to start doing those things, and you're very open, honest, and transparent about it, people buy into it. Change begins to occur.
Now, the other thing that I think is important when you look at these kind of things is there is a savings for money too.
Yeah.
Because if you have a lower turnover rate, if you have a respect from the community, if you have a good partnership with other agencies, those things really are going to save your company money. They're going to save the governmental agencies money, because you're going to have less grievances, you're going to have less turnover,
Right.
and you're going to have a positive reputation in your community.
There's a ripple effect. I mean, not only the things that you can see, but the things you can't see. So people want to move into this community. They want to be a part of this school district. They want to be a part of this faith-based, organization. All because they feel like, you know what, these people value me. They treat me well. We're looking for those kind of predictable type of indicators.
And last week, you not only you do this at Ohio Christian University in some of your classes, but you do this on your own to different companies and different areas.
I do. A company called Kenosis.
Okay.
It basically is about servant leadership, and character building hurts, Dave. It's like lifting weights. If we really want to work on our character,
Yes.
it takes work. It doesn't happen just sitting on the couch. Sometimes it takes looking in the mirror and saying, you know what, I could have done that better, or I need to ask for forgiveness, or I need to grant forgiveness,
Right.
or I need to humble myself, and that's hard. Most people, they don't really want to do that kind of stuff.
So how do they get a hold of you if there's a company or a group or a governmental agency that may want to get a hold of you to come in and do some
Gotcha.
classes?
Yeah, I'd be happy.
In fact, we're thinking about maybe bringing you in next week or next year with our supervisors.
Great.
Talk to them.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
They can reach me at Monty Lobb at sbcglobal.net.
Okay.
I'm working on my website right now. It's not up, but at Monty Lobb, MontyLobb, at sbcglobal.net. Contact me there. I'd be happy to do that. Done that for folks with the National Football League, U.S. Postal
Really?
Service.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah, other government organizations.
So did you meet some of the big football stars?
I saw a few people walking around there in New York City. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, 280 Park Avenue. It was pretty cool.
I bet. I
Yeah,
bet. That
yeah,
must have been
I bet.
kind of a great moment for you. wasn't it?
It really was for somebody who likes football and to actually be there and
And
absolutely.
before we go off the air, you're a guy that loves the Lord.
Absolutely.
And it shows in your
Absolutely.
life.
Well, thank you. I hope so.
Yes.
I hope so.
Yeah, you do.
That's what I want.
You do a lot, and I know you're involved with your church.
Yes. Yeah. Pickerington Nazarene.
Okay.
A lot of good things going on out there. I spend most of my Sunday mornings back with first sixth graders.
Okay.
Just kind of.
Doing Bible study?
Yeah, watching, helping them, exactly, doing that kind of stuff.
Well, I'll tell you, it's been 4 years since you've been on. I'd like to have you back every couple years, kind of get
Great.
updated and stuff.
Please.
I think the last couple shows have been really good, and I think it's got to give people out there, or especially people in management, to do some soul searching. If they see some of the areas we talked about, to kind of, like you said, get that trust, don't overpromise, and I've certainly learned a few things in the last couple weeks from you.
Good. Thanks, Dave.
Monty Lobb, professor at Ohio Christian University, and known Monty now for probably 10 years,
Yeah.
and just a wonderful guy, and does just terrific work. Well, we're just about out of time, and again, I just want to thank the students here at Fairfield Christian Academy that put this program together, our executive producer, Kelly Roberts, and you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week. The clock on the wall says we're out of time. Until next week, same place, same time, same place. If you're out there driving, buckle those seatbelts up. God bless, and we'll see you here next week.
These waters were woven into the culture of Native American tribes. The descendants of the early Europeans built a business here based on agriculture. And today, this unique destination in the central Ohio countryside comes to life with stories and memories centuries old. The Fairfield County Historical Parks invites you to amazing Rock Mill. Above the falls of the Hocking River Gorge, here together, nature and man have created some truly American stories that you'll want to experience with the entire family. Visit us or learn more about Rock Mill and the largest wooden water wheel in the nation at historicalparks.org.